Morning, guys. Welcome to Words from a Friend podcast. I'm your host, Marty Carey, and this is the podcast that follows my book, Words from a Friend, a daily guide to a purposeful life. It's available at Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. We're on a 365-day inner journey, so happy to have you along. We're on day 47 of that journey, and in the book, it is the February 17th message. Today's message is the next series of messages seem to be all about the power of surrender. Is today's the power of surrender. Okay, this is a great practice that leads you right into the flow of grace and goodness. Surrender in this context does not mean giving up or lying down or stagnation in any way. It simply means to let go of trying to control everything in your life in exchange for trusting Spirit to guide your path. Trying to control everything. Man, that creates scrambled eggs up here, right? Overwhelmment. You get overwhelmed, don't you, when you're trying to control everything and other people and other people's decisions. And, it's just, you got to just have that ease. I'm going to do these things today, and I'm going to do them as mindfully as possible, right? As mindfully. We're always trying to get to the next thing, without spending a little time in the present moment in everything that we do, right? So, time management may be your issue. Time management is very important because we can lose our whole day with ill-fated time management, right? So it simply means to let go of trying to control everything in your life in exchange for a trusting Spirit to guide your path. This can be difficult at first. Many times we are brought to a place where we realize it's time to give up the struggle and the pain for the gift of letting go, allowing things to be as they are, without judgment, as they are. Right? We were saying yesterday, accept things as if you've chosen them. Maybe in an ugly wrapper, okay? But you got the wherewithal, you got the stuff to take care of it. You do. You got the stuff, even though your ego may say, I don't want to deal with any of this stuff today, but it's in front of you, and you got to plow through it sometimes. And what's the best way to plow through it? Knowing that I can. Turn on your light and say, I can, I will. Then you get yourself going in the right direction. Your mindset is in the solution, like we always say. Okay, turn on your switch. Surrender trying to control everybody. Control what is in front of you, right? You can only control yourself. Control your mindset, right? And the way you walk in life, that you can control. The phrase, so be it, is a great one to get you into this place. So be it, right? We usually just go, whatever is the other version of so be it. Okay, it's there. It's in front of you. There it is. So what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do with it? You are the artist. You're a life artist. That means everything in your life. When you put your present moment awareness on it and you use your creative thinking to solve things, and you're using your light and the tools from in that light, well then you've got a masterful way about you. A masterful way. You're trying to master yourself, right? That human self. We master the human self with the forever self. We master the human self with our forever self, our soul, because our soul is ancient. It's wise, even though the human sometimes doesn't dig into that wisdom at all, because we don't know it's there. We've never been told in certain ways that it's there. You could grow up in a household that never, ever crosses this stuff, ever, and you're just living from your ego, not knowing the power that you possess, not knowing that God is for you. This universe, this energy that created you is always for you. And when you align with that and you start working in your own favor, that's the alignment. God says yes, you say yes. There's effort involved. There's self-work involved. There's all of that involved. Are you going to do that? Because that is what you're here to do. That's what you're here to do. You're here to find your light, remember it, and then wield it on yourself. Clean out the house. Surrender to God's wisdom, your forever wisdom, because God's wisdom and your wisdom It all comes from the same place. And you're a conduit for it, right? You're connected to it. The golden thread of wisdom, truth, and light. It's there. We're always connected to it, right? You don't lose your connection. You can pinch it off like a hose. You can pinch it off like a summertime drinking hose from the 70s. You can definitely do that. That's when you're ignoring it and you're out of alignment. You're just using your ego to do something, get through and get over and, ugly stuff. No, stay out of that. You're so much bigger than that, so much brighter than that. And, what do you want in life? What do you want? You got to align. You got to align with what you want and in the energy that brings everything great to your doorstep. Even though it's not exactly what you want, it's probably going to be better. Probably going to be better than you can imagine. Your alignment, the things that come in there. Surrendering to that, what you're surrendering is your ego. Saying, I'm surrendering this. No way. I'm going to live from my light instead. This has gotten me nothing but trouble, and I've been feeling stuck for so long and looking for something that is going to, clear out the dust and help me move forward. Well, hopefully some of the words in this podcast can help you do just that. All right? These words helped me to move forward. So I know that they work. And they're God's words. They're God's words. The ones that say you can and you will. That's God's words. I'm just reminding you with them. Right? I'm just reminding you every day of who you really are. And when you get it, and when you really get it, and you start to embody it, it's not just a concept to you anymore. When you start to embody it and live from it and walk in it, then you say, okay, all right, now I get it. Now I get it. It doesn't have to be all the hoopla that I've created my whole life. The anxiety has made me create lots of chaos in my life and lots of decisions that probably weren't great, based in fear, fear-based living, ego, edging God out. What's left? But the survival self, the one that lives in fear and is always looking at problems and, not finding a way out of life's way. Life is going to be life. You got to learn to be the navigator, a great navigator. And that takes knowing your energy and wielding the best of the best that you already are and that you've always been. Okay? Your forever self. All right. The phrase "so be it" is a great way to get you to this place. The very next thought you must align yourself with is, "I will trust instead of doubt." It's a hard one to say. Your ego go, yeah, sure you trust, right? That's what the ego does. That's part of the doubter. Doubting. You get that sinking feeling, no, I'm not really trusting. I'm just saying I trust. Listen, that's the mustard seed, baby. Say it, because you're telling your ego that that's the way you're going. And your soul will go, yep, let's just keep going in that direction. Okay? I will help you to see that trust is a worthy endeavor. Okay? You're going to see the other side of that and you go, I'm glad I trusted this time. Instead of went into usual panic mode and just gave up. Surrender to the wrong thing. You're surrendering. You're saying, soul, take over. Jesus, take the wheel. That's what surrender is. I don't know how to do this on my own, God. I have no idea. I am at a complete loss on how to handle this. Show me the way. Show me the way. And if you stay in that good zone, it will come that way. The way will show up. You walk forward. You got to generate. You got to generate that energy and say, I'm walking forward. I don't know how it's going to show up, but I'm going to be talking to some people in my life that I trust and let them know what's going on. And the answer will come, maybe through them, but it will come. Okay? Have the trust this time. Instead of going down the old route, break the old pattern. Break it where you don't trust. Break it where you used to doubt. Break it where you used to start screaming and throwing fits because you didn't know the way. They say the ego is basically our 8-year-old self still living in us. And here at 61, right? My 8-year-old self. Well, I know there's definitely, I don't want to lose my younger self. You know, never want to fully grow up. Nope, not going to do it. Nope, there's too much fun to be had, to be old in the mind. Don't, Wayne Dyer, my buddy, I talk about all the time, says never let the old person move into your mind, right? And that can happen in many different human ways that we do. We just allow it to happen instead of taking charge of our mind, our body, and guiding it from our spirit, who always says, let's go, let's take a walk, let's go get some exercise, let's move this body. And then your mind is also in that pitch, in that tone, in that resonance of truth, saying, yes, I'm here to serve, and I can't serve anything well unless this contraption is working really well, right? And so you got to keep that contraption of yours working really well. And that's good stuff like this in your mind, and then good stuff for your body every day, moving, and then giving the good stuff to everyone you encounter. Little spritzes here and there. Keeps you up. Spreads the light and keeps you up in it. Okay? See? All right. You see, when all your human logic and limited understanding puts you into an emotional corner that you feel you're never going to get out of, this practice of surrendering your troubles to your higher source will reveal to you the unconditional love and support you cannot see with your eyes, but feel with your heart. Okay? Remember, this is a feeling universe. How do you feel inside? That's the biggest part of self-awareness. How do I feel? And what's generating that feeling? Am I out of sorts, or am I in a great mindset today? You have a choice, and the more you make that same choice, the more you raise that personal vibration, your temperature up to a nice warm, nice place to live in here. Nice place to live. That's what it's about. Having a nice place to live in there. That's your cup, right? Got to have it overflowing with the good stuff. So that means you got to kick out the stuff that ain't so good. Okay? We say it every day. Growth is about not adding stuff to you. It's about taking away what no longer belongs. All right? It's about chipping away the old selves, stagnant old selves that didn't want to do anything, right? Didn't want to move forward, wanted to just stay in the rut. That ego will want you to stay in that rut. It has no need for you to do anything. The soul says, get up, let's go. Come on, baby. We can do this. There's more to this place than that ego will ever tell you. More to you, especially, than your ego. Of all of the influences in our lives, the name we're given, the place we grew up in, the influences in our life created that ego. It's like our persona, right? Some good. That's your soul. So the real you, you want to talk real, you want to be real, you want to have a real relationship, the one that doesn't thrive on chaos, negativity, and buzz and low energy. No, time to move up and out, if you have to, of old stuff, old ways, old hang-arounds. These are but a few examples of the blessings that come for you when you decide to trust and allow everything to move forward without your usual controlling nature, an emotional roller coaster. It's like jumping off a ride for a while to let nature take its course. We say that every day, put the oars in the boat, let God take it, right? All right. And so, that is it. That's your connection. You have to trust that connection, that you never do it alone. You're never alone, right? You have guardian angels. You have spirit guides. You have friends and family on the other side who are looking right after you, and they're standing right next to you most of the time. We just don't have the perception to see it because we're in the lower dimension, third dimension. But as we rise, we get to see bigger things within us. There's bigger things to receive. Downloads from spirit, they call it. Downloads from spirit when you're aligned. The better way, the better ideas, the better advice from our soul. It's there. It's always been there. It's your wisdom center, right? There's wisdom in there. So that is what we're talking about when you surrender. You got to surrender that, because if you're going to just walk in your ego and not know anything about your other side, your tools, or your light, or how it works and how it benefits everything around you, your life, and how it helps everything grow in your life in the way that you want it to, in the direction that you want it to. Okay. God, G-O-D, the grand overarching design. Okay. God gives us all the power we need, and then we come to a place where it has exactly the opposite stuff that's already in here, all the opposite ideas, like George Costanza. You got to do the opposite. Well, in an inverted world like this, when we see, it can be like the bizarro world. Where is your truth? Because truth does not lie in billions of opinions. Opinion comes from our ego and from only our earthly experience. But truth comes from our forever self, our soul, our light. And when we all connect in that space, in that namaste space, where I say I, so all the other stuff is just kind of what we've collected and made ourselves up into be while we were here. And we can raise that baby. We can raise all of that. Raise our ship. And then you keep it in ship shape, and then you help raise others so that they can live in their own ship a lot more peacefully than they may have ever lived in themselves before. They don't allow peace in because they're too busy trying to fix the world outside of them. Okay? Peace is the grand dame, inner peace, right? Inner peace, harmony, that nice content place. We have to get to know that. All right? That's our God space inside. That's our God space. That's our heaven within. That's our home while we're here, right? And that's how we remember our real home, and how we think at our real home, how we live in our real home, and how we should adopt that here and bring that heaven to earth. Because if heaven is within, then that's part of our cup that overflows, isn't it? Okay, we're giving our heavenly self as our daily calling card as much as possible. And that's the practice. That is the practice. But what are you practicing? You're practicing being a good human. For God's sake, that's it. You're only going to be a good human when you're living from knowing that higher space where you have compassion for others and empathy. And you see yourself in another in many ways, because where they struggle, you once struggled. Guess what your job is? If you're there, give them a little word of wisdom. They may not want it. They may not want to take it, but I guarantee you, you're there for a reason with this person. There's something there. Spark something up. Spark up a little conversation if you feel like it. You'd be surprised to find what comes out. You say, I wasn't going to say anything. I wasn't going to say a thing. And then all of a sudden this nugget came out of this conversation that took me the rest of the day, and it made me feel good. Because with somebody else, a little conversation we had, and I go, I did not expect that. Right? You're putting yourself out there. It's been not putting ourselves out there for so long. We've just wanted to withdraw and contract with all the fear that's been thrown at us for so many years. For so many years. I mean, come on. Since we were born, forever, fear has ruled this planet. Now, when you see it for what it is, it's just basically an illusion, and then propped up with propaganda, and then using actual disgusting methods to keep it alive so that we all stay in it. That's what it is. It's a show of bad apples, man, from bad apples. And there are so many more good apples in this world. So many more. And that's who I'm talking to. I'm talking to a good apple who wants to raise the vibration of this place so we don't have to deal with all that crap anymore. Those people of evil, we don't want to deal with it anymore. Just darkness that has to go. God knows it now. That's why we're aligning together. That's why we're having this conversation, because we're all sick of the sickness in here, from carrying it around in ourselves, from being force-fed, and then saying no more. No, sir. I'm not doing it anymore. I will not carry your narratives. Nope, I'm not carrying those narratives because I'd rather just carry God's narrative that we're all from one family, unity, above all the bullshit. That's it. That's called love. The rest is ego bullshit. Guys, I hope this podcast has been helping you. I really do. And I hope it uplifts you every day because it does. It uplift me. It definitely does that for me. Thank you for this. So it's good for me too. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate all of you. Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you sharing and letting people know about the podcast. That's a great thing. I appreciate that. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.